I'm so bad at these. So as you can see, I'm already ready for bed. I already took off my makeup. I did my whole routine. Why? I literally just talked to myself for 10 minutes and I wasn't even recording. So now I gotta start over. Okay, anyways, welcome to part 1 of hitting rock bottom. So I'm gonna be putting a trigger warning on the screen of whatever topic is, because we're gonna be talking about some kind of heavy stuff. So I'll just put that disclaimer out there. So we're going to start for basically the first kind of big event that happened to start kind of my spiral. And that was March of 2015. My dad passed away. It was extra hard because so I'm an only child. I had no siblings, no cousins. It was like me, my mom, and dad were like the three musketeers. We did everything together. And it didn't really feel like I had a small family at all. Like, I felt like my cup was full. It was good. Usually people are like, oh, I'm so sorry you have a small family. I was like, I felt all the love. So it didn't really I didn't really think anything of it. When he passed away, though, it felt like our pie just got completely ripped. What made it worse, though, was because not only was I grieving the loss of my dad, seeing my mom, oh my God, I'm going to get emotional. Again, I already cried on the earlier one. Seeing my mom, so distraught, barely being able to get out of bed, and me being so helpless, just tore me apart. I couldn't, unless you've actually been through grief yourself, it really is hard to explain to anyone. So, with that being said, my best advice for anyone that's grieving is to just tell yourself and just to accept. I know this is the worst thing, but just accept the first year, okay? The first year is going to be rough. It's going to be rough. There's no skipping over that. Everyone's timeline is different. For me, it was about a year. Because the year, if you think about it, you're going through all the firsts. The first birthday without that person, the first anniversary, the first holiday, especially the holidays, and you're kind of getting out of that routine of so many years or however long with that person. So just give yourself some grace, and don't let anyone tell you how you need to grieve. If you want to walk down the grocery store and you see their favorite snack and you all of a sudden burst down to tears, don't feel bad about it. Who cares who's watching, okay? The most important thing is to just don't bottle it all up, because that's what I did. I felt like I had to be strong for my mom because she was so distraught. So I kind of held in my emotions and distracted myself with taking care of her, that I never kind of released it. And I kind of kept all this stuff bottled in. And it didn't really kind of come out until, a couple years later when I developed, my drinking problem. I really do suggest that just find an outlet and release your emotions each day. A lot of people will suggest to you, go to grief counseling. That I did not. That is not for me. I am not the person that would enjoy sitting in a group of people and talking about things, which is weird because this video could potentially be reaching thousands of people, but it's different because right here, right now, in this moment, I am by myself talking to my phone. So it's easier. But grief counseling helps tons and tons of people. But if you're more of like a one-on-one counselor person, do that. Or if you would rather talk to someone else that's grieving the same person as you, or if you don't want to talk to anyone at all, write it down. I know it sounds silly and it's not verbally releasing it, but it is a form of release. Trust me. Writing down, today sucked. I had a really bad day. I thought about this. You'll shed some tears. You'll write it down. And surprisingly, afterwards, you'll be like, oh. I'm not saying you'll be like, whew, that is new. But you'll be like, it's a form of release. Like, you need that. You need to do that day by day. Release it somehow. You'll get all the people that are coming up to you all the time being like, I'm so sorry. And with the puppy dog eyes. And then it'll start making you crying again. And it's like... And that's also a side note. If you're not grieving, but you know someone that's grieving, coming up to them all the time being like, I'm so sorry for your loss. I know it's so hard because you don't know what to say. But really what is more helpful is asking, like, do you need anything? For me and my mom, like, a bunch of her friends would, like, drop off food, already made meal, be like, hey, do you need help, like, getting your oil change? Or, like, because when you're so depressed, and especially how my mom was, she could barely get out of bed sometimes. So going downstairs and just popping in something easy in the oven, it actually sounds silly, but it was actually really nice. But there is light at the end of the tunnel. After the first year, you start, or at least I started, being able to like look at pictures again and hanging up his ornament at Christmas time and thinking about funny memories and stories and that kind of stuff. You will shift into a better positive mindset. And that is where I'm at now. It's been 9 years and I still almost got, choked up about it. And it's still very sad, but it is an acceptance at this point. It's not like my downfall was because of my dad dying. It was how I handled my dad dying that made me have my downfall. Because instead of doing the things that I just suggested to you, like drinking hot tea and therapy, and instead of doing that, I went to alcohol and I bottled my emotions in. I did the exact opposite of what I'm telling you. I'm telling you to save you from becoming like how I did. So just to make that clear, I did not handle that properly at all. So if I can help someone hopefully handle it a little bit differently, it will save you a lot. And they'll be able to hopefully grieve in a good way, in a positive way. But, oh my God, another really important thing. Do not make any crazy big life-changing decisions in that first year of you grieving. Oh my God, I cannot reiterate that enough. My mom wanted to sell her house, like selling your house, changing jobs, getting into a new relationship even, money decisions, anything like that. Do not make any crazy big decisions that first year because your emotions are all over the place. Your brain is telling you to do something to distract yourself. A lot of things that my mom sold of my dad's right away, just because right away you just can't even look at the stuff. And now years later, she told me that she wishes that she didn't. So that's an example. So just don't make any hasty decisions or big decisions in that first year. And aside from that, just let yourself heal. That's all you can do. And give yourself some grace. And I'm so sorry you're going through that, but we will get through it. I got through it. You'll get through it. And it's really hard. It is. I'm sorry. These things are the best. Anyways. And if you don't have literally anyone to talk to, just comment or DM me. I try to look at my messages. I have a lot of weird sugar daddy messages that pop up in my inbox. Stay away from the weirdos. But probably if I were to see something, it would be a comment because it gets notified right there. Well, I think that's going to be the first subject for part 1. We're going to stick with the grief, meditation. Don't be afraid of a counselor, and working out is really hard to suggest. Even just walk around and let some sunlight hit your face. Give yourself some grace. That's all I can say about the grieving process, and it will get better. You're not going to feel this way forever. Forgot to mention that it was also very hard for me because right about 8 months before my dad passed away, I was in a relationship with someone that I'd known for a very, very long time, but we had to do a long distance relationship for over a year, maybe 2 years. It was just the best. He is still to this day, 10 years later, the best person, hands down, I ever met in my life. It's just so sweet, biggest heart. 8 months later, my dad passed away. And so keep in mind, remember, I had no brothers or really any cousins or anything. So I felt like the only 2 men that I really, truly loved and had a connection, a relationship, the only 2 men in my life either died or left. That led to the beginning of my alcohol problem. And when also I meet my now ex. So stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Okay. Good night.